Hello, so I want to read to you a fabulous picture book. I adored the illustrations of this picture book and the story. It's a simple story and I like the character and the writing, but this is a picture book in translation, and I really wanted to make sure that I feature a picture book in translation for my reading log because I think that that is a feature of Kids Lit that is so special in introducing children to picture books or a variety of different children's books in translation is so valuable, just for the cultural aspects and also for the literary aspects, and seeing how the story changes a bit from language to language, culture to culture, and the way that books are translated. So I am an advocate for having a variety of books in translation at all different types of books. Maybe a middle grade novel, a picture book, whatever. I definitely think that they should be filling up the shelves, and they have a quality to them that is just truly remarkable. So I appreciated this book so much. This book was translated from Finnish, and it was translated by Mia Spangenberg. The author and illustrator is Marika Maijala, and I love the illustrations. I would love to have a print of one of her illustrations in my room. It's so gorgeous, and I appreciate the book so much, especially as someone who is a lover of the kind of whippet, greyhound, lurcher type dog. So I am going to begin reading the book Rosie Runs. So I'm just going to back up a little bit. Rosie races down the track. Her paws hammer the ground. Rosie charges on. There's a smell of grass and the sounds of people shouting and cheering in the stands. Giselle, Tess, and Lord Lancelot race alongside her. The white mechanical hare scurries in front, and Rosie can just see it from the corner of her eye. Soon she leaves the others behind and flies across the finish line. The winner is dog number 2, the announcer calls out to the pack stands. After the race, the exhausted dogs are led to their cages. Cargo doors slam shut and the spectators go home. Rosie just wants to sleep. The racetrack isn't quiet at night. The dogs move about restlessly as the guards make their rounds. Rosie dozes in a sitting position. She sees forests, fields, and real hares in her dreams. Her paws twitch slightly. I just love this illustration. It's a new day and a new race. The spectators are cheering again in the stands. The dogs sprint after the mechanical hare. They circle around the track like rockets, over and over again. Rosie leads by a length as she runs towards the finish line, but she doesn't slow down at the checkered flag. She leaps high into the air, and it looks like she will fly right over the fence surrounding the track. The spectators gasp in wonder, and then there's a moment of silence. I just want to show you the spectators gasping. The illustrations in this are so beautiful. A large man blows his whistle, but Rosie doesn't care. She runs. The wind is blowing. A train whistles. Rosie runs as fast as the train, and for a moment they travel side by side. A man in the dining car takes a picture of Rosie with his phone. Rosie runs across the fields into the forest. It's dark in there, and she sees shadows moving. Rosie runs on in silence, the soft moss muffling the sounds of her steps. She thinks she hears her pursuers, the sounds of barking and yelling, and she doesn't dare to stop. Rosie runs through the night. In the morning, the light shines behind the trees. A large house glows with cold light in the middle of a garden. Rosie smells bracken and strange plants growing wild. A little lady is eating her breakfast, and she doesn't see Rosie sneaking past over the cobblestones. The guard dog starts barking, and Rosie slips away through some bushes onto the streets of a strange city. A tethered pony stands in front of a worn circus tent. He neighs in longing as Rosie runs by. The magician's daughter is practicing her tricks for the show. She doesn't notice the dog passing under her window. Rosie bumps into people on the stairs at the station. Train whistles blow, and announcements echo through the station. They remind Rosie of the racetrack, and she quickens her pace. "Hey, watch out!" a man in a hat yells as he wipes his pants. "Any spare change?" a woman asks in a low voice. She's huddled at the bottom of the stairs. But no one stops. People are hurrying to work, to the subway, wherever they need to go. The city rumbles like a large wild animal. Rosie ends up in the middle of a busy street. Scooters buzz along, their horns honking in unison with those of the cars. Rosie runs around the traffic circle over and over again. Then a little girl waves at Rosie from the backseat of a pink car. Rosie starts following her. The car drives to the harbor and onto a ferry. Rosie jumps in the water. The current is too strong and carries Rosie along with it. She doesn't resist. It's early in the morning when Rosie finally wades ashore. A goose honks and flaps her wings. Her nest is under an old abandoned boat. Rosie curls up by the nest for a moment to sleep. In her dream, she can hear the sounds of the sea, the water lapping against the rocks, and ships blasting their horns far away. Rosie keeps on running. It's quiet in this small town. A man looks out his kitchen window, and a tea kettle whistles. Suddenly, Rosie stops. She hears shouting and cheering, and there's a smell of grass. She listens, her ears cocked suspiciously. But these sounds are friendly. Rosie stands at the gate of a small park and sees two dogs jog up to her. They give her kind smiles. "Hey, do you want to run with us?" asks the brown dog. Rosie thinks for a moment. Here is the brown dog. Then the three dogs take off. Rosie is in the lead with the brown dog and the spotted puppy running behind. Rosie is the fastest, and she has to stop and wait for the others. As soon as they catch up to her, they take off again. The dogs start wrestling, and the brown dog tugs at Rosie's shirt. The shirt rips open, and Rosie rolls on her back. "I'm sorry," the brown dog laughs. "I'm Ida, that's Siri, and this park is our home. What's your name?" "I'm Rosie," Rosie replies, shaking her fur. Her heart is beating fast, the way it always does after running. She feels a little cold without the shirt, but it's amazingly easy to breathe. The blades of grass sway in the wind, bringing new smells to Rosie's nose. Rosie looks at Ida and Siri. Their tails are wagging. "Want to run some more?" Rosie asks. The end. So there's a little note on the author and illustrator and the translator, and then we have a little note on the story. So I appreciate this story so much. I thought it was really beautiful, and any dog lover will love it for sure, and the illustrations are just so stunning. So I hope you pick this one up. Great example of a book in translation, great example of a picture book in general. It isn't something that I'd necessarily recommend for a story time or a read aloud, but if you were looking to read a book to your child, or just kind of have, even maybe if you were doing a read aloud to an older class, maybe 3rd or 4th grade, this one might be a good pick. It's a really special book, so I hope you pick it up. This is Rosie Runs by Marika Maijala. Have a good day.